Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and hello to all of those of you online. This will be streamed on my website later. I have cards here that have got the web address on, so feel free if you missed anything and you want to go back and have a look, feel free. Now, I'm launching 3 books today. I do actually have a 4th, but it's a comedy book, and I thought, vampires, comedy, nah, not so much. So I'm just concentrating on these 3. Upside down, Miss Jane. I'm showing my age, aren't I? See if it's still on the air. The first is Destiny Sets. Now, I started telling this story when I was about 10 to get my sister and my cousin off my back because I was sick of doing running around games and I wanted to just sit down for a while. So I was telling them stories. This is a much more adult version of those stories from way back then. I'd been writing and gaming this book for quite some time, and then I came across a thing called Write No Mo, which is an international organisation that writes all around the world, and authors can get together and chat and have wonderful things. And I'll be talking about that in the presentation later. But basically this was born from that 1 month of crazy writingness. Once I'd finished that one, and this one's set in the modern day, I moved on to Jamal's Journeys, which of course is set in the medieval ages because one doesn't wish to get bored with being the one John all the time. So he's got a lovely sword. You'll notice that you're progressively getting a lot more skin on the covers. The 4th book should be out soon. I'm hoping to get all the way down to about here on that one. But anyway, so that's medieval. Can you read these separately? Yes, you can, but I strongly recommend starting from this one because I assume that you know who the characters are, but you can keep going. I've had people read just this one and cotton on to what I was on about. Children of Tamal is post-apocalyptic. So they dropped the bomb, or bombs, lots of, and what happened to the world when you're an alien vampire living on Earth and everybody has gone crazed. Not good. But they're definitely for the over 15s. My daughter's turned 16, so I'm expecting her to read them fairly shortly. Now, I thought the easiest way to tell you what my books were about was to actually read a little bit. So, with your permission, I would like to read a section from the books. I have carefully scheduled this because I knew there would be under 15s in the audience, so there are no body parts nor majorly violent pieces. If you find something you object to, please cover your ears. So, Telkar has managed for his first time in his life to get off planet. He's on a whole new world and he's discovering what it's like to be on a planet that's not his own home world, where people don't know that vampires exist. He's met a lovely lady and she's been showing him around the world. Now they're headed back. They were heading back, talking about the things they had seen, when Telkar rested his hand on Molly's shoulder. There are figures following us. Molly looked up as the 2 figures detached themselves from the shadows. She pointed with her chin. Oh, I forgot to tell you, she's in a wheelchair. That's why she's pointing with her chin. Yes. She pointed with her chin and said, well, they won't be lonely. Telkar grinned for a moment and then stepped forward. I wish trouble, but my partner here does not, so go away. Oh, smooth one, Telkar, Molly muttered under her breath. One of the thugs leered. Well, we'll be glad to give you trouble and your girlfriend here a good time. What do you say, darling? Well, I doubt you could, said Molly. Telkar grinned in approval of her words. You heard her. Time to go away or you're going to get hurt. The thugs laughed as another 2 drew closer from behind them. You? Against the 4 of us? I don't think so, rich boy. Now hand over the loot before anyone gets hurt. Telkar stepped forward, shaking his head. That was really bad timing from you, gentlemen. Really bad. He moved, striking the two thugs before they saw him. Both folded and fell to the ground. He turned and threw his blade. A hiss of surprise from Molly told him she didn't even know he had one. He felt a sense of satisfaction that he had hidden it so well, even as it sank into the third man behind him. Before he could draw the blade, the fourth man grabbed for Molly. One hand brought a blade under her chin and the other grabbed the back of her chair. One move closer and the girl gets it. Telkar froze for a moment, silently cursing. The thug relaxed. That was a mistake. Telkar watched in delight as Molly grabbed for the thug's hand around her throat. She applied the pressure she normally used to propel herself around, concentrating it on the tender gap in his fingers. He cried out in pain and dropped the blade. Molly then used her other hand to run her chair over his foot. Telkar laughed as the man hopped around. As he straightened, Telkar laid him out with a punch that lifted him off his feet. As he turned to face Molly, his eyes alight with the thrill of the fight and her part in it, he knelt before her chair. You were wonderful, a true survivor. Molly laughed, though her face held some shock. Telkar had seen it before. The shock of the blade against her throat had made her act without thinking. Now she had time to think. The consequences of what could have happened were flickering across her face. She started to shake, and the smell hit him like a blade. He felt himself react even as he fought the sudden surge of hunger. Molly shifted uncertainly in her seat. Sorry, I can't seem to stop shaking. Telkar shook his head. There's nothing to apologise for. It's the adrenaline in your system. The danger is over and your body is trying to slow back down. Molly reacted to the way he said adrenaline, the naked need in his voice. Are you okay? She asked. He took a deep breath. I will be. You are affecting me, and I would very much like to taste you. He straightened and took the handles of her chair. We'd better get back. So that gives you an idea. Those characters, Telkar was actually a friend of mine who we role-played a lot of these games in. Hi, Warren. And I often hear Telkar in his voice, but Molly was a character that I sat down to write and she just appeared out of nowhere. I didn't know why she was there, I didn't know why she was in a wheelchair, but I thought, what the heck, let's go with it. And ironically, despite the years of research and thinking that I put into every other character in my book, Molly is the favourite from just about everyone who's ever read it. So that probably tells you something about writing. All right, does anyone have any questions at all about the process or about the books themselves? About how much they cost, $15 each? Can you buy them here? Yes, you can. Are they available in the library to borrow for free? Yes, they are. Anything else? No, well, we might have a quick 10-minute break. I will set up for the presentation on how to get yourself published. And I thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate your time.